Hey everyone, I'm Joshua Oro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Oral Reports. Now, before I get started, I'd like everyone watching this video to know that this episode was supposed to be my Father's Day blog of 2019. Unfortunately, I had been going through some technical difficulties with my laptop during the weekend, so this video had to be delayed. Anyway, today, I want to take you back to a Disney classic that I blogged last year, Bambi. As I said before, this film is pretty much the most emotional animated movie released while Walt Disney was still alive, and some parts of the movie gave good messages about nature, as well as safety and life. The main three characters were very likable and adorable, and other scenes were fun. But still, the most heartbreaking scene was when Bambi's mother got shot by hunters. But has anyone ever wondered what happened after that moment? Well, in 2006, Disney Toon Studios gave us an interesting midquel, and of course, it's the subject of my blog today. Released to DVD on February 7th, 2006, the movie is Bambi 2. So, let's get started. After Bambi's mother is killed, his father, the great prince of the forest, has little choice but to raise Bambi on his own. Unfortunately, he has no experience caring for a fawn. But, as wise friend Owl suggests, who better to raise the young prince than the great prince himself? Throughout the movie, the great prince must teach Bambi the ways of the forest. However, in the adventure of a lifetime, the proud parent discovers that there is much he can learn from his spirited young son. So, what do I personally think of the movie? Well, this was actually a pretty good movie. Plus, it felt very nostalgic, and it answered a lot of questions that weren't answered in the first movie. So, let's move on to Mustang notes. While the movie got a direct-to-video release in many countries, including America, Canada, China, Japan, and Taiwan, it did get a theatrical release in the UK, France, Italy, Austria, Mexico, Dominican Republic, Brazil, Australia, and a few other European countries. The film was officially the last Disney animated movie to be released on VHS, with the exception of Disney Movie Club exclusives. Now, let's talk about the animation. And in my opinion, the animation is very beautiful, especially with the transition from winter to spring. Also, the animals in this movie look very good too, and of course, I really love the lighting in the forest as well. I also like how the movie begins on a winter night not long after Bambi's mother gets shot by hunters. Plus, the beginning dialogue is recycled from the first film, which is, in my opinion, both nostalgic but also very heartbreaking. But I do like how the story is about a father connecting with a son whom he barely spent time with in the original. Also, some of my favorite scenes include the Groundhog Day scene, the scene where Bambi learns about his father's duties as Prince of the Forest and leader of the herd, and I thought the final climax where Bambi fights a dog on a ledge was very hardcore. However, there was one scene that was very haunting and intense. It's the scene where Bambi is ambushed by hunting dogs in the meadow after he hears a mysterious voice which sounded like his mother. But in reality, that voice was caused by man to sound like a deer. But, thankfully, the great prince comes to the rescue while Bambi is frozen in fear. Also, in my opinion, this movie has wonderful music, and it does have some great songs too. However, there are two songs that stick out to me the most, and they are There Is Life, performed by Alison Krauss, and Through Your Eyes, performed by the beautiful and talented Martina McBride. Also, after the groundhog declares that spring has arrived, the animals sing the Gay Little Spring song from the first movie, which unfortunately annoys Owl. However, in my opinion, while the chorus does sing this song very well, it stops abruptly, courtesy of Ronno rudely scaring the dickens out of the poor groundhog. Anyway, let's move on to the characters and their voice actors. Our main character, Bambi, is this time voiced by Alexander Gold, who previously voiced Nemo in Pixar's Finding Nemo. In this movie, Bambi finds himself faced with a number of challenges. First, there is the death of his mother and his consequential move to live with his father, the Great Prince of the Forest. Connecting with that, there is the fact that his father has no knowledge of raising children and is reluctant and slow to learn. In addition, Bambi begins to develop romantic feelings for Faline and, well, comes into conflict with his present and future rival, Ronno. More on him later. Throughout all of this, he shows much more personality than he did in the first movie. Also, Bambi grabs life by the horns in one attempt after another to bond with and impress his dad. To me, while Bambi is very playful at times, I can tell that he has a lot of potential to be brave and strong and to live up to his father's name. Also, I think Bambi looked very handsome when he finally grew in his antlers at the end of the movie. Bambi's father, the Great Prince of the Forest, is voiced by Patrick Stewart. Best known from The Pagemaster, Romeo and Juliet, TMNT, Legends of Oz: Dorothy's Return, and the X-Men franchise. Due to the death of Bambi's mother, the Great Prince is forced to be the fawn's guardian. In my opinion, as his wife said in the first film, he's very brave and very wise. Plus, he's also very strict, and he takes his duty to look after his herd very seriously. Also, I do like that the animators gave the Great Prince more facial expressions compared to how he was in the original. I mean, take a look at these pictures and see how they compare. I also like the part where the Great Prince teaches Bambi about his duties, while also having fun with him. And I like the scene at the end where he shows Bambi the place where he met his wife when he was a fawn. Next we have Bambi's best friend, Thumper, voiced by Brendan Berg. Now, Thumper is still my favorite character in the Bambi movies. Throughout this film, Thumper gives Bambi lessons on how to impress his father, and to prove that he can be very mighty as well. Plus, Thumper is easily annoyed when his sisters are always following him around, and, like in the first film, his mom has to remind him what his father told him. Also, in my opinion, Thumper can be very sarcastic while telling outrageous stories of how Bambi defeated a hunting dog. Bambi's second friend, Flower, is voiced by Nicky Jones. In my opinion, Flower is equally as adorable as he was in the original. Also, I like the part where Flower helps Bambi to be brave, and I thought the part where Flower sprays a hunting dog with his fumes was pretty awesome. Next we come to Bambi's love interest, Faline, voiced by Andrea Bowen, who has been in stage versions of Les Miserables and The Sound of Music, TV shows like Desperate Housewives, and she voiced a Moogle girl in Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. In my eyes, Faline is a very beautiful young doe, especially during this shot. Anyway, throughout this film, Faline is caught in a love triangle between Bambi and Rano, though we all know Faline is more infatuated with Bambi. And of course, I know about someone else who's going to get caught in a love triangle in 2 months. And I can't wait to watch that film when it comes out. Anyway, back to Faline. I like that she spends more time with Bambi in this film compared to the first film, and I think it's sweet that she accepts Bambi's upcoming responsibility and his relationship with his father. Friend Owl is voiced by veteran voice actor Keith Ferguson. Best known as Blue from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Zuzo from Elena of Avalor, and of course Marluxia from the Kingdom Hearts games. In this film, Owl plays a very important part. In the beginning, the Great Prince asks him to find a suitable doe to raise Bambi. Also, Owl presents the groundhog during Groundhog Day, and I also think Owl is very sympathetic and comforting. Plus, Owl thinks the Great Prince has the potential to raise his own son. Plus, I do like the part where Owl promises to tell the children about Twitter-pated when they're older. Next we have Thumper's sisters, voiced by McKenna Cowgill, Emma Rose Lima, and Ariel Winter. Now, in the first movie, we've seen that Thumper has 5 sisters, but in this movie, there are 4. Anyway, while they can be annoying to their big brother, they are still very playful and cute, and they love to sing. Bambi's deceased mother is voiced by Carolyn Hennessy. While she is dead throughout the story, she does make a short appearance to Bambi in his dream, telling him that everything would be alright, and that she would always be in his heart. To me, that scene was very touching, and I think Carolyn does a wonderful job voicing her. Our next character is Bambi's rival, Rano, voiced by Anthony Gannon. Now we all know this jerkish buck is the one who Bambi fights in the original. Here, however, Rano has more dialogue and is given much more personality. You see, while he is a bit older than Bambi, Rano is a bit of a braggart, a bully, a liar, a coward, as well as manipulative, and he generally has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. Also, Rano has a habit of being a big, tough hotshot, as well as flirting with Faline, and he's pretty much a mama's boy, as Thumper calls him. Next we come to the groundhog and the porcupine, both voiced by director Brian Pimental. The groundhog is a shy, timid character who, while afraid of his own shadow, comes out of his hole to determine if winter will end. The porcupine, on the other hand, is a grumpy character, and he's very overprotective of his log. However, he does manage to use his quills to attack one of the hunting dogs, and later uses said quills to prick Bambi to push him towards Feline in order for them to kiss. Finally, we have Mina, voiced by another veteran voice actress, Cree Summer. Best known from Rugrats, Codename Kids Next Door, Atlantis: The Lost Empire, and Final Fantasy X and X-2. Now, Mina first meets Bambi nearing the end of the movie. Bambi is excited to meet her at first, as she was a childhood friend of his mother. But his feelings change when he learns that Owl was tasked to find her so that she might raise him. However, later in the movie, after Mina gets caught in a trap, she repeats the dying last words of Bambi's mother while telling him to run. To me, while she does survive in the end, I think Mina is a very beautiful and kind doe. But on the other hand, Bambi is better off with his father. And now let's move on to my final words. Overall, Bambi 2 is an excellent midquel to the 1942 Disney classic. The animation is gorgeous. The story gives Bambi and his father more chemistry together. Plus, this film goes more in depth with the other characters. And it does answer several questions that weren't answered in the first film. Also, the music and songs are absolutely wonderful, and the voice acting is absolutely fantastic, from the celebrities, the veterans, to even the child actors. If you folks grew up with Bambi, then I highly suggest you folks check this movie out, and I think it makes a great movie to watch on Father's Day. So, I give this film a full 100%. Well, that's all for today. And I'm really sorry that this episode got delayed, and I promise that my laptop won't go through any more trouble. Anyway, be sure to join me again for my next blog. Mustang Power. Oh, and happy belated Father's Day.